Let's get brutally honest for a second. I want you to pause right now and ask yourself a question that might actually scare you. When was the last time your mind was truly, completely silent? I'm not talking about the silence of an empty room. I'm talking about the silence inside your head. Or is it the case that even right now, as you listen to my voice, there is a background static of chaos? Is your brain spinning with a dozen different to-do lists, the phantom buzz of text messages you haven't checked, the crushing weight of invisible pressures from your career, and the nameless, low-level anxiety about the state of the world? We are living in a bizarre, paradoxical era. It is a time where we have turned busy into a currency. We wear our exhaustion like a badge of honor. If you aren't running yourself into the ground, society whispers that you aren't trying hard enough. We glorify the grind, yet we treat stillness like it's a dangerous luxury, something to be guilty about, or worse, something to fear. We have been thrown into a vast, drowning ocean of information. Every single day, you are under siege. You are bombarded by distractions, algorithms designed to hijack your attention, and a news cycle that thrives on your fear. And what is the inevitable result of this constant assault? We have become a species of reaction. We are hyper-reactive. We snap at our loved ones. We take offense instantly. We feel fragile. We have lost the most critical anchor of our existence, peace of mind. The frustration, the chronic stress, the heavy fog of depression, these aren't just random misfortunes. They are uninvited guests that moved in because we left the front door of our minds wide open for the noise to trample through. So, the trillion-dollar question is this: how do we take back the steering wheel? How do we find a motionless point of center right in the middle of the hurricane? Today, I'm not interested in giving you hacks or generic self-help fluff. I want to invite you on a journey to fundamentally shift your perception of reality. If you actually apply the philosophy I'm about to break down, it won't just lower your cortisol levels, it will completely rewrite the operating system of your life. The first thing we need to dismantle is the biggest lie you've been told about happiness. It is a truth so simple that we often ignore it. Peace is not a destination. You cannot find peace by booking a first-class ticket to Bali. You cannot find it by escaping to a cabin in the Swiss Alps or sitting on a pristine beach in the Maldives. Why? Because you have to take you with you. If your mind is a storm, you will bring that storm to the beach. You will sit in paradise, looking at a perfect sunset, but internally, you will be reliving an argument from 3 years ago, or worrying about an email you have to send next Tuesday. You will be in heaven, carrying hell in your head. Peace and stillness are not external resources to be harvested. They are an internal state to be cultivated. It does not matter if you live in the smog and noise of a crowded metropolis or a tiny, cramped apartment. It doesn't matter what you do for a living. If you possess the wisdom to turn inward, the treasure is already there. Burn this into your brain. Peace is built, not found. It is an inside job. Now, let's address the most toxic misunderstanding people have when they try to find this peace. This is the reason 90% of people quit meditation after 3 days. They think that stillness means the mind must be completely empty. They think they need to achieve a state of zero thought, a blank white void. So they sit down, close their eyes, and inevitably, their brain starts chatting. They think about lunch, they think about their itch, they think about the past, and they conclude, I'm bad at this, I failed, my mind is too busy. No, listen to me closely. Peace does not mean the execution of your thoughts. Being calm does not mean lobotomizing yourself. Thoughts will always appear. That is the biological function of the brain. The brain secretes thoughts just like the mouth secretes saliva. Trains of thought will constantly roar through the station of your consciousness. Memories will surface. Worries will bubble up. This is natural. True peace is found in how you relate to those thoughts, not in silencing them. When you achieve true serenity, it's not because the noise stopped. It's because you stopped reacting to the noise. You stopped chasing every train that passed by. That is the definition of mastery. Let's look at the mechanics of your suffering. Usually, when a negative thought wave hits you, what is your reflex? Panic. You believe it immediately. You identify with it. You merge with the thought. If a thought of anger arises, you say, I am angry. If a sad thought drifts by, you say, I am depressed. You treat the thought as a fact, and you treat the thought as you. But I want you to pause and consider a concept that can liberate you from years of pain. You are not your thoughts. Let me say that again because it is the key to the cage. You are not your thoughts. Thoughts are just phenomena. They are temporary energy events that arise and dissolve, just like clouds passing through the sky. This brings us to the most powerful metaphor you can use to navigate your life. Imagine your mind, your true self, your consciousness, is the sky. It is vast, blue, infinite, and open. Now imagine your thoughts, your emotions, your anxiety, your rage. Imagine they are just the weather. They are the clouds. What is the nature of a cloud? It comes out of nowhere. It gathers. It might block the sun. It might turn dark and heavy. It might rain, thunder, and flash with lightning. Then, eventually, it dissipates or drifts toward the horizon. Some days, the mental weather is catastrophic. It's a hurricane of stress. Other days, it's just a few fluffy white clouds of distraction. And some rare days, it is clear. But here is the crucial realization. No matter how dark the clouds are, no matter how violent the thunder is, does the sky ever get wet? Does the lightning ever leave a scar on the sky? Does the storm ever actually hurt the atmosphere? Never. The sky allows the storm to happen. It holds the space for the storm, but it is never damaged by the storm. The sky remains, untouched, behind the clouds, waiting for them to pass. You are the sky. Your problems are just the weather. The tragedy of the human condition is that we forget we are the sky. We spend our whole lives thinking we are the cloud. When it rains, we cry, "Oh, look at me, I am so dark and gloomy." But the sky didn't create the rain, the cloud did. The sky is just the witness. When an angry thought arises, instead of jumping into the cloud and becoming the storm, take a step back. Create distance. This is the secret of the sacred pause. Between the stimulus, the rude comment, the bad news, the traffic jam, and your response, there is a tiny gap. In that gap lies your freedom. Most people live their lives with zero gap. Stimulus happens, reaction follows instantly. Someone insults you, you insult them back. You feel anxious, you eat junk food. It's automatic, it's robotic. To find peace, you must widen that gap. You must become the observer. When the anger rises, look at it. Say to yourself, "Ah, here is a feeling of anger. That is interesting." Don't judge it, don't fight it, just watch it. Ask yourself, do I need to engage with this? Do I need to board this train? By simply observing the emotion without identifying with it, you starve it of its power. You break the loop. This practice changes everything because it gives you back your authority. You stop being a puppet pulled by the strings of your external environment. You realize that the chaos of the world, the economy, the politics, the opinions of others, is just weather swirling around outside your window. It cannot touch the sanctuary within unless you invite it in. Think about the amount of energy you waste every single day fighting reality. You fight the traffic, you fight the weather, you fight the past, you fight the future. It is exhausting. It is a war you cannot win. True power comes from surrender, not giving up, but surrendering your resistance to what is. It comes from realizing that right now, in this exact second, you are okay. If you stop the narrative in your head about how things should be and just look at how things are, the tension drops. So, I challenge you. The next time you feel the pressure mounting, the next time the world feels like it is closing in on you, do not look for an escape route. Do not pick up your phone to scroll away the pain. Do not pour a drink to numb the edge. Instead, sit with it. Close your eyes and become the sky. Watch the storm rage. Watch the anxiety scream. Watch the frustration burn. And notice, with a smile, that the part of you watching the storm is not part of the storm. The observer is safe. The observer is calm. The observer is eternal. This is the shift from doing to being. We are human beings, not human doings, yet we have forgotten how to just be. We are terrified of boredom, but boredom is often the doorway to brilliance. We are terrified of silence, but silence is the only place where we can hear the truth. When you stop reacting to the surface waves, you sink down into the depth of the ocean, where the water is always still, no matter how rough the storm is up top. Reclaiming your peace is the most rebellious act you can commit in the modern world. In a world that profits from your self-doubt, your confusion, and your constant distraction, remaining calm is a superpower. It is the ultimate defiance. It says, "You cannot control me because you cannot disturb me." Start today, not tomorrow, not after you finish your project, not when the kids grow up. Now. Find that space between the thought and the thinker. The clouds will come and the clouds will go. Let them drift. You stay here. You stay vast. You stay open. You are the sky, and the sky is always at peace. Imagine for a moment that someone spits a verbal insult right in your face, or perhaps you receive an email that completely undermines your hard work. In that split second, what happens? You feel the heat rising in your chest. Your heart starts to hammer against your ribs like a trapped bird. The instinct is primal, immediate, and overwhelming. You want to scream. You want to slam your fist on the table. You want to type a furious reply in all caps. This is the stimulus, and that explosion is the reaction. But listen closely, because what I am about to tell you is the single most important secret to emotional mastery you will ever learn. Between that trigger, the insult, the email, the bad news, and your reaction, there is a space. It might be a fraction of a second, but it is there. And in that tiny, almost invisible gap lies your freedom. That gap is where your power lives. Most people live their entire lives bridging that gap with instant, unconscious reactions. They are puppets, and the world pulls their strings. But you have the capacity to widen that gap. You can hit the pause button. Instead of becoming the anger, you can step back and look at it. You can say, "Ah, hello anger, I see you. You feel like a storm cloud gathering in my chest." Do you see the difference? The moment you observe the emotion, you are no longer possessed by it. You are the observer, not the victim. You can look at that dark cloud of rage or anxiety and realize that while it is raining, you do not have to get wet. You can acknowledge the presence of jealousy without acting on it. You can feel the vibration of anxiety without letting it shatter your peace. Having thoughts, even dark, chaotic, or terrifying thoughts, is entirely normal. It is part of the human condition. But the skill of a master, the skill that separates the chaotic from the calm, is the art of non-reaction. So, how do we actually do this? It sounds beautiful philosophically, but how do we apply this when the baby is crying, the boss is yelling, and the bills are piling up? How do we anchor our minds when the hurricane of modern life is tearing the roof off? I am going to share with you 3 profoundly powerful, yet practical methods to build this sanctuary of silence within yourself. These are not abstract theories. These are tools you can use today, right now. And before we dive into the deep end of these techniques, if you feel a resonance with this message, if you are tired of being pushed around by your own emotions and are ready to reclaim your sovereignty, make a small commitment to yourself and to this community by hitting that subscribe button or sharing this with someone who needs it. Let's build a legion of peaceful minds in a chaotic world. The first method is deceptively simple, yet it hacks your biology in a way that is almost magical. It is the practice of intentional deceleration. I want you to slow down your physical body. Choose a specific window of time today. It doesn't have to be long. Maybe it's the walk from your car to the office elevator. Maybe it's while you are washing the dishes after dinner, or even while you are typing a routine email. During this window, consciously, deliberately, move at half speed. Why would you do this? Because your body and your mind are trapped in a continuous, bidirectional feedback loop. Usually, the cycle goes like this. Your mind gets stressed, so your body tenses up. You walk faster, you type harder, your shoulders hunch, and your breath becomes shallow. This physical rushing sends a signal back to your brain that says, "We are in danger, hurry, panic," and so the mind races even faster. It is a spiral of anxiety. But you can hack this system. By deliberately slowing your physical movements, you force a new signal up the vagus nerve to the brain. You are telling your amygdala, "Look, I am moving slowly. I am gentle. There is no tiger chasing us. We are safe." When you walk slowly, your mind has no choice but to slow down to match your rhythm. Try it. Just 10 minutes. Move with the grace and intention of a master in a tea ceremony. You will find that the chaotic static in your head begins to clear, giving you the mental bandwidth to actually observe your thoughts rather than drowning in them. The second method is a technique that has been battle-tested for thousands of years, passed down from the Buddha and countless sages. Yet we often ignore it because we think it's too basic. It is breath-based anchoring. Now please, do not roll your eyes. I am not asking you to retreat to a cave in the Himalayas or sit in the lotus position for 3 hours burning incense. I am talking about using the breath as a tactical tool to collapse the timeline of your suffering. Think about it. Almost all of your anxiety comes from living in the future, worrying about what if. Almost all of your sadness comes from living in the past, obsessing over what was. But the breath? The breath is the only physiological function that happens exclusively in the now. You cannot take a breath for yesterday. You cannot save a breath for tomorrow. When you inhale, it is happening right here. When you exhale, it is happening right now. By shifting your entire focus to the sensation of air entering and leaving your nostrils, you are physically dragging your mind out of the hallucinations of the past and future and anchoring it in reality. It is like dropping a heavy iron anchor from a tossing ship. The storm of life may still be raging above the surface. The waves of drama may be crashing, but your consciousness is held steady by the weight of the breath. When you breathe in, say to yourself, "I know I am breathing in." When you breathe out, say, "I know I am breathing out." It sounds trivial, but this simple act creates a physiological safety zone. It softens the hard edges of your mind. It stops the reactive spiral. It brings you back to the only place where you have any actual power, the present moment. The third method is perhaps the most powerful visualization you will ever use. I want you to adopt the persona of the traffic observer. This is a metaphor that can change your life. Imagine that your mind is a busy, multi-lane highway. You are not the cars. You are a person sitting on a park bench on a grassy hill, overlooking the road. The cars passing by are your thoughts and emotions. Some of these cars are seductive. They are sleek, shiny red sports cars. These are your fantasies, your desires, the thoughts that say, "If only I had that promotion, I would be happy." Some of the cars are beat-up, rusty trucks, belching black smoke. These are your fears, your self-judgments, the voices that say, "You're not good enough, you messed up." There are buses filled with noisy passengers, motorcycles weaving in and out. It is a mess. Now, most people spend their lives running out into the middle of this highway. They see a shiny thought they like, and they chase after it, running alongside the car until they are exhausted. Or they see a scary thought, a big, ugly truck, and they try to stand in front of it to stop it. They get run over, again and again. They try to direct traffic, screaming, "Why are there so many trucks today? I hate this traffic. Why isn't the road clear?" This is the definition of suffering. Your task, your only task, is to stay on the bench. Do not run onto the road. When a beautiful thought comes, watch it approach, watch it pass, and watch it disappear over the horizon. Do not chase it. When a terrible, dark, anxious thought comes, a thought that says you are a failure, do not try to stop it. Do not argue with it. Do not judge it. Just watch it. Say to yourself, there goes a dark thought. It's a heavy truck. It's loud. And watch it drive away. It is crucial that you do not judge the traffic. Do not beat yourself up for having negative thoughts. That is just adding more cars to the jam. If you find yourself judging, just treat the judgment as another car. Oh look, there is a judging car. When you cultivate this detachment, when you realize that you are the observer on the bench and not the traffic on the road, a profound silence opens up. You are no longer the victim of your own psychology. You are the witness. And in that witnessing, there is peace. When you combine these things, when you widen the gap between stimulus and response, when you slow your body to calm your mind, when you anchor yourself in the breath, and when you sit on the bench watching the traffic of your thoughts, you unlock a superpower. You realize that you are not the clouds, you are the sky. Clouds come and go. Some are fluffy and white, some are dark and stormy. But the sky is never harmed by the storm. The sky is vast, untouched, and permanent. This doesn't mean you become a zombie. It doesn't mean you stop caring or working. In fact, you will work better. You will solve problems more effectively. You will love more deeply. Why? Because you are no longer reacting out of fear and trauma. You are responding out of clarity and wisdom. You will still handle the difficulties of life, but you will do so with an inner smile, a secret knowledge that your peace is a fortress that cannot be breached by external circumstances. I truly hope that this perspective has sparked a light in the darkness for you today. I hope it helps you see the path to the tranquility you deserve. The world outside may remain noisy, chaotic, and demanding, but the world inside you can be a sanctuary of absolute stillness. You have the tools now. The practice is yours to begin. May you be well, may you be happy, and may you find that eternal peace in the space between your breaths. Thank you for lending me your time and attention, and I will see you in the next video.